Recorded Books presents Charlotte Iles is Not a Detective by Katie Siegel. Narrated by the author. For all the former child detectives, you're never going to be as good at escape rooms as you think you are. Content warnings: guns, non-brutal mugging, off-screen kidnapping, off-screen murder. Chapter 1. The bowling alley is closing. Also, there was a murder. So, I Googled you. They hadn't even ordered their food yet. The last time this happened, she was at least able to hide her involuntary grimace behind a curtain of spaghetti. The time before that, a fistful of fries. Charlotte Iles quickly raised the giant diner menu, but not fast enough to conceal the wince. The woman sitting across from her, Amy, smiled sheepishly. "Sorry," she said. "I do it before every date." God, I hate that word, Charlotte thought as she slowly lowered the menu. Googled. Just thinking it felt gross. "Oh," she said, her voice several steps above its usual pitch. She cleared her throat, forcing her tone back down to normal. "Hope you didn't find my middle school-era fanfic. That'd be embarrassing." But a relief, Charlotte thought. She hoped that was all Amy found. She cracked a smile, hoping her date would take the out, laugh at the joke, and change the subject to something more palatable, like tax returns, or lawn care. "No, it wasn't that," Amy said, leaning forward eagerly. She had that look in her eye, the look of someone completely oblivious to the fact that the thing they were about to say was way more exciting to them than it would be to their audience. "I didn't know you were, famous?" Like famous. Charlotte heard that modifier a lot. Not super famous, or currently famous, but she had, at one point, been sort of, kind of, famous. Charlotte shifted in her seat. "I wasn't really famous," she said, beginning what was now a well-rehearsed speech. "You were," Amy said, as if she were gifting Charlotte a great compliment. Oh, okay. She wasn't even going to listen to the speech. Charlotte sat back. "I mean, there were so many articles about the mysteries you solved," Amy continued, her eyes bright. "You were, like, a mini Sherlock Holmes." Yep, just a 10-year-old solving mysteries and doing cocaine. Charlotte had made that joke the first time she got the Sherlock Holmes comparison on a date. It didn't land. She never made it again. "You helped so many people." Amy took a quick gulp of water, looking at Charlotte over the rim of her glass. She swallowed. "Did you really help the British Museum find a stolen artifact?" Charlotte paused for a moment, going very still. Maybe, if she stayed frozen and silent, the other woman would just keep talking, and Charlotte would never have to comment on her well-documented childhood. But Amy was gazing at her expectantly, so she cleared her throat and said, "Yes. Yeah. As Amy continued to gaze, Charlotte realized she was waiting for more than that. "Oh, I was in London on a family trip when the museum got robbed. I looked around, talked to a few people, and saw that a screw on an air vent was a little loose. It was pretty quick work after that." She paused for a moment, then added with a half-smile, "Of course, the statue had already been stolen way before then." Amy's eyes widened with excitement. "This wasn't the first time it was stolen?" "You know, because the British Museum. Most of the artifacts were stolen from other countries." Charlotte hesitated as the eagerness in Amy's eyes began to dim. "A lot of artifacts in Western museums are stolen." "Oh." Amy took another drink from her glass, much longer than her last one. Charlotte felt indignant as the mood suddenly shifted. Why did she always have to tell stories from her childhood to keep the date going well? Why couldn't she talk about looted cultural property instead? She seized the opportunity to catch the eye of Maggie, the diner's manager, and host on slow nights like this one. Charlotte flashed her a distressed look. "Already?" Maggie mouthed back, stepping out from behind the host stand. Charlotte gave a subtle nod, then looked back as Amy put down her glass. Behind her date's head, she saw Maggie flag down a server and send her towards their booth. "So," Charlotte said, drawing out the word for as long as she could as she watched the server, Jordan.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?